Have you ever seen a judge try to make a president look foolish in front of everyone? Today, you will hear an African story about a proud judge and a smart president. What happened at the end will surprise you. The city was busy. People talked about only one thing. Judge Kofi, the most famous judge, wanted to test President Ibrahim Traoré. Judge Kofi was not a kind man. He liked to show his power. He liked to make people feel small. He thought he was the smartest person in the country. He wanted everyone to see that he was better than the president. The day of the test came. The court was full. People stood close together. Some people were excited. Some were scared. Judge Kofi sat on a big chair. He wore a long black robe. He looked at President Ibrahim and smiled. Judge Kofi said, "President, today I will test you. If you lose, you must leave your job. If you win, I will leave my job." The people were shocked. No one had ever seen a judge talk to a president like this. Judge Kofi took out a small box. The box was brown and had a lock. He held it up high. He said, "Inside this box is something special. If you can tell me what is inside, you win. If you cannot, you lose." The room was very quiet. Everyone looked at the box. Some people thought there was money inside. Some thought it was empty. Some thought it was a trick. President Ibrahim did not look worried. He looked at the box. He looked at Judge Kofi. He looked at the people. He said, "Judge, can I ask you a question?" Judge Kofi said, "Yes, ask your question." President Ibrahim said, "Can the truth be locked in a box?" Judge Kofi laughed. He said, "No, the truth is everywhere." President Ibrahim smiled. He said, "Then I think the box has your pride inside. You want to trap me, but pride cannot win over truth. I choose truth." Judge Kofi's face changed. He opened the box. Inside was a mirror. The people gasped. The judge wanted to trick the president, but he showed everyone his own pride. The mirror showed Judge Kofi's face. The people started to talk. Some said, "The judge tried to fool the president, but he fooled himself." Judge Kofi was not happy. He wanted to win. He said, "I have another test." He called his helper. The helper brought 3 cups. 1 cup had water. 1 cup had sand. 1 cup was empty. Judge Kofi said, "President, which cup is the most important?" President Ibrahim looked at the cups. He said, "All cups are important. Water gives life. Sand builds homes. An empty cup can be filled with hope. We need all of them." The people clapped. They liked the answer. Judge Kofi was angry. He wanted to win. He said, "I have one last test." He took out 2 pieces of paper. One paper had a kind word. One paper had a bad word. He mixed them and put them on the table. He said, "Pick the good word." President Ibrahim picked both papers. He said, "We must see both good and bad to know the truth. We must choose good, but we must also learn from bad." The people cheered. They saw that the president was wise. Judge Kofi had no more tests. He looked at the people. He looked at the president. He said, "Today, I tried to show my power, but I see now that true power is not in tricks. True power is in truth and kindness." He took off his judge's robe. He put it on the table. He said, "I will leave my job. The people need a better judge." The people cheered. They were happy. But the story did not end there. After the court, people talked about what happened. They told the story in the market. They told the story at home. They said, "Remember the day the judge tried to embarrass the president? Remember how the president stayed calm and wise?" The story spread everywhere. People learned that pride can make you blind, but truth will always win. President Ibrahim did not celebrate. He went back to work. He listened to the people. He made sure the courts were fair. He made sure the judges were honest. He said, "We must always choose truth over pride." The people respected him even more. They knew he was a good leader. Judge Kofi left the city. He went to a small town. He helped people. He taught children about honesty. He wanted to be a better man. He learned that respect comes from truth, not from tricks. But let's go back to that day in the court. There were many things that happened that people still talk about. When Judge Kofi first walked into the room, he did not look at anyone. He walked straight to his chair. He wanted everyone to see that he was in control. He spoke in a loud voice. He said, "Today, we will see who is the wisest in this land." Some people in the room felt afraid. Some people felt angry. But President Ibrahim stood tall. He did not look scared. He looked at the judge and waited. After the first test with the box, Judge Kofi tried to make the president nervous. He asked hard questions. He said, "President, if you are so wise, tell me how many people are in this room right now." President Ibrahim looked around. He said, "There are as many people as there are hearts beating with hope." The people smiled. They liked his answer. Judge Kofi frowned. He wanted a number, but the people liked the president's words. Judge Kofi then asked, if you had to choose between being rich and being honest, what would you choose? President Ibrahim said, I would choose to be honest. Money can be lost, but honesty stays with you forever. The people clapped again. Judge Kofi saw that the people were on the president's side. Judge Kofi tried another trick. He brought out a bird in a cage. He said, President, is this bird alive or dead? If the president said alive, Judge Kofi could kill the bird. If the president said dead, Judge Kofi could let the bird fly away. But President Ibrahim smiled. He said, the answer is in your hands. Judge, you decide if the bird lives or dies. The people cheered. Judge Kofi could not trick the president. Judge Kofi was getting desperate. He asked, what is the most important thing a leader should have? President Ibrahim said, a leader should have a kind heart and a listening ear. A leader should care for the people. The people nodded. They knew the president was right. Judge Kofi tried to make the president angry. He said, some people say you are too soft. Some people say you are weak. What do you say to them? President Ibrahim said, kindness is not weakness. It takes strength to be kind when others are not. I will always choose kindness. The people clapped louder. Judge Kofi saw that he could not win. He tried one last time. He said, if you could change one thing in this country, what would it be? President Ibrahim said, I would make sure every child can go to school. I would make sure every family has food. I would make sure every person is treated with respect. The people cheered. They saw that the president cared about them. After all these tests, Judge Kofi had nothing left to say. He looked at the president. He looked at the people. He said, I tried to show my power, but I see now that true power is in truth and kindness. He took off his judge's robe. He put it on the table. He said, I will leave my job. The people need a better judge. The people cheered. They were happy. After the court, people talked about what happened. They told the story in the market. They told the story at home. They said, remember the day the judge tried to embarrass the president? Remember how the president stayed calm and wise? The story spread everywhere. People learned that pride can make you blind, but truth will always win. President Ibrahim did not celebrate. He went back to work. He listened to the people. He made sure the courts were fair. He made sure the judges were honest. He said, we must always choose truth over pride. The people respected him even more. They knew he was a good leader. Judge Kofi left the city. He went to a small town. He helped people. He taught children about honesty. He wanted to be a better man. He learned that respect comes from truth, not from tricks. The story of the proud judge and the wise president became a lesson for everyone. It was told again and again. It reminded people that no matter how smart you think you are, there is always someone wiser. The best leaders are those who serve with truth and kindness. So, next time you see someone show off their power, remember President Ibrahim and the mirror in the box. Remember the cups and the papers. Remember the bird in the cage. Remember that pride can make you weak, but truth will always make you strong. If you ever face a hard test, ask yourself, what would Ibrahim do? In the end, it is not tricks that matter, but the courage to do what is right, even when everyone is watching. This is the story of how a judge tried to embarrass a president, but instead, learned the greatest lesson of all. If you like this story and want to hear more amazing African tales, please subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us share more stories with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next story.